the back just started to slide, so I spun the car. Oh my days, that's insane. Good morning, good evening, good day, whenever it is you are watching this video. Welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story, and that was, well, first of all, you're seeing me rather smart, and that's because I'm heading to work, because I don't do YouTube full time. But yesterday I took the Abarth 124 GT to Silverstone, and I swapped it for a racing car. One thing I love about Silverstone is that whenever you go, you get such an array of cars. There's just so much on offer. Yesterday it was pretty mind-blowing, the amount of cars over there. I mean, there was a Koenigsegg there was McLarens pouring all over the place, but there was so many Porsches, which was quite interesting. And also, so I went down to Silverstone with 360 Racing. As you guys all know who've watched my channel before, I've done quite a few things with Team 360. I've done one of these track days with them before. I've also gone to Silverstone with them, as in to watch the LMP3 race, the European Le Mans race series, and I'm also going to Spa again this year for the road trip, which I announced a couple of videos back. But yeah, so arriving there, had, you know, as you do, nice and early, had a driver's briefing where they pretty much tell you that if you drive like an idiot, you'll be black flagged. And I've done a few track days, so those briefings are, you know, they're pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, once we'd all done the briefings and we knew what was going on, it was time to take out one of the Citroen DS3s to do a couple of sighting laps and to get a bit of a feel as to what the GP circuit is like. One thing's for sure, that the DS3, you know, don't get me wrong, the DS3 is fine, but when you've got things like radical cars, supercars, all flying past you around the track, you spend a significant amount of time on the right hand side of the circuit, which is effectively the safe zone to allow everyone to overtake on the left. I had Mr. Martin Donnelly, main man Martin, who is ex-Formula 1 race driver. He does a load of work with Lotus now, and he does a lot of stuff with Team 360 Racing. So I felt so privileged to have him as my driving instructor. It was mental, and you would see, obviously there's a load of stories going on here on my left, which shows you kind of how the day panned out. But yeah, no, it was really cool. And after that, I've done a few sighting laps with Martin. It was time to go out and experience the radical race car. So it was amazing. It was a real shame that I couldn't do GoPro footage because there's some really strict track rules on there. But I'm trying to bring you guys along in the form of a story, which is something quite different in the middle of rush hour traffic. So I hope you're enjoying this so far. After doing some laps with Mr. Martin Donnelly, he was really pleased actually. He was quite impressed with how I drove, which was fantastic. So much so that it got to the point where Team 360 Racing, the guys, gave me full control of their Radical SR3 car, which is insane, because taking that out on my own around the track was just incredible. In fact, let me pan back to yesterday and show you exactly what that meant to me and how it felt. Oh my days, that's insane. Now, I've done these kind of things before, where with regards to kind of track day stuff, but to drive a Radical out on track on my own. Normally I've done it with Martin Donnelly, the ex-F1 race driver, but to do it on my own is completely different, because you know you haven't got the luxury of having someone tell you what gear to be in. You have to be really mindful of what's out on the track, and oh guys, it's just absolutely incredible. Honestly, I can't explain how overwhelming it feels to drive around the GP circuit of Silverstone and also just do it on my own. So yeah, it's a big achievement for me, and yeah, I'm just super happy. The Abarth 124 GT sitting pretty behind me, but it's all about the radicals today, guys, and what an experience. And as you can see from that video footage, that clip, it was really overwhelming. I've never driven a race car on my own before. I've always had the luxury, as I said in the clip prior to this, of having an instructor, because you're wired up, so you've got earpieces, so you can hear what the instructor's saying clearly. So they'll tell you whether you're coming in too hot on a corner, whether you are in the wrong gear. But there was a few interesting things that happened to me out on track, which was almost like a baptism of fire. The first one, I can't remember the corner, I think is it Beckett's? I can't remember, but the first after, I think it was lap 3, the tyres and that was still cold on the car. Talking proper F1 spec now, guys, you know, aero and all that jazz, but the tyres were still cold and I came in far too hot. It's a straight where you're literally hooning it, getting up to about 120 mile an hour in fifth, then you slam the brakes on, drop down into second. I came in so hot that when I put it into second gear, the back just started to slide, so I spun the car. But what was important in those cars, that if the car rolls back and you haven't put your foot down on the clutch, you can destroy the starter motor, or you destroy something, which basically means the car can't move, which eventually means you red flag the event. I did not want to be that guy. So I remember, because a friend of mine a couple of years back did the same thing, exactly the same spot, and he didn't put the foot down on the clutch, and they red flagged the event. So I put my foot down on the clutch, I saved the car, I felt so proud. It was almost like that Sebastian Vettel move in Monza a couple of weeks back, where he touched Lewis, spun out, but kept the car going, did a cheeky little half donut U-turn, and went for it. That was me. I felt very F1 inspired at that time. But then it got worse. Well, it got really good, actually. I performed some amazing laps. I was flying like there's no tomorrow. I was overtaking all sorts. I mean, the car weighs nothing and it's so fast. So things like Porsche GT4s, I was keeping up with all sorts, and even overtaking a number of cars, which is insane. But then on the straight, on the Hangar straight, I think it's the Hangar straight. I'm not the most clued up with turns, but there's a straight where I remember Martin was telling me, you're in the top end of 6th, you are flying flat out, you jab the brake, come off, turn in, and then punch it foot to floor, and you take it through the famous Silverstone S-bends, which you'll see Hamilton and all of those guys. One sec, trying to get in front of all those cars. You'll see Hamilton and those guys on the Formula 1 track, they're flat out, and the G-forces around those bends are insane. But as I put my foot down after coming off it, it felt like nothing. In fact, I'll show you what it felt like. So if I put the car in neutral, it sounded like this. And I was like, what the hell? And I've got all the S-bends to go, and I've just got no power. The car literally, it didn't cut out, but I thought, have I run out of fuel? Have I, you know, what's happened? So literally I put the car in neutral and I coasted through every single one of those S-bends, and in the distance I saw that there was a slip road with a tow truck there, and I was like, oh my god, I need to make sure I can get the car there, otherwise I'll have to pull off on the grass, so I'm going to stop in the middle of the circuit. This is dangerous, it'll red flag the whole event, and I didn't want to be that guy. So I tried to use everything that I thought was common sense and just coasted it, holding it to the right hand side of the circuit and pulling up to this guy who was like, is it dead, mate? Is it dead? And I was like, yeah, it's dead. So then I had that embarrassing tow back to the pits. But I didn't stop the event. I spun out and I ran out of fuel, but well, actually what it was a fuel surge. The guys in the garage said it was a fuel surge, and I don't really know what that means. Technical guys, let me know in the comments. But it was mad. Oh, I'm hearing this funky noise. There's a Saab there with half its bumper hanging off. Not a good look, buddy. Yeah, but the guys in the garage are like, you know, you did really well to, one, recover it off the spin, and two, get it off the track nice and safe. So I think all those years of watching Formula One have paid off. That's it. If I take anything from F1, it's finding a safe place to park the car. But yeah, I mean, it was honestly, guys, it was so incredible going out on my own, because it's such a different sensation. And it just puts me in good stead, and it's really already starting to build up the excitement for the road trip that we're going on. I can't wait to go and watch the guys from 360 Racing race at Spa in the European Le Mans Series. It's going to be incredible. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up with all of those antics. Obviously, I'm in the 124 GT right now. I've got the A45. Thank you so much to all of you guys who have shown so much love and support in the comments for the A45 and the direct messages you sent me over on Instagram. It means so much, and I'm so happy that you guys, you know, you continue to support me. It's been insane. This car goes back soon as well. Again, massive thanks to Abarth for lending me this 124 GT for near enough a month. They've been fantastic, and we've got some decent content out of it, which is why I've wanted to keep filming in this car to showcase it, really. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's the end of this one. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of little mini story that I've kind of told you. If you have, please make sure to like, share and subscribe. Smash like, see if we can get over, let's go 300 likes on this video. It really does help the channel. And again, thank you for everything. And I'm going to see you all very soon on the next one. For now, thanks for watching. Bye bye.